And I don't know if you guys saw this, but because she has the park now, she was taking a tour. They trashed it, rotting meat carcasses
Yes.
everywhere. But there's her taking a picture here. Somebody put in graffiti a middle finger, and it says Carol Baskin takes up the butt from Donald Trump.
What?
They even just the word it. Carol Baskin takes up the butt from Donald Trump. It's spray painted on the side of what looks like a small, I don't know, cabin or something.
Oh, good God. Now I gotta look this up.
That's
Yeah, but the Jeff Lowe guy, that guy needs to be taken down. I mean, that guy's like he was a career conman anyway,
yeah.
and he conned the zoo out of Joe, and then he was gonna like re-demo it with some other guy that they don't really get into. I forgot his name. That like other guy who like they like
Oh, the
showed
most batshit crazy of all of them too. He
probably.
was, yeah, he
Yeah.
was like,
Oh, the guy who they wanted that Joe wanted to hire to kill Carol Baskin, the guy in the bathtub.
No, not the
No.
bathtub guy. There was another big cat slash big animal person that like had his own like little like zoo thing going on or his own like big properties, but he like
Oh yeah, okay.
he
I
wasn't
remember.
really that involved in the show. They've just like they
Yes.
showed him here and there, and he was going into business with Jeff Lowe to
Right.
like do the big thing, and like he found out that Jeff Lowe was conning him.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that now. That guy.
I don't know who he is, but I would like to see more of him when they do the second season, because like that guy was definitely off his rocker. Didn't he shoot something on camera, or he like just brandished a gun?
Joe Exotic brandished a gun and shot several things on camera.
Oh yeah.
yeah, there was a lot of that. Shooting
Yes.
Carol Baskin.
Blowing up his watch because Carol wanted it. Just a little crazy.
Tim Stark was his name. Tim Stark is that.
Right.
There we
guy.
go. Yeah, he was interesting human.
There was a lot. I mean, every single one of them is interesting. Like it's crazy that these people exist. This is like a real thing that happened. These aren't like people playing characters. They're real. It like
That's what
blows my
my favorite
mind because they're literally all just like cartoon characters. They literally are just cartoon characters.
Yeah.
You can't make this shit up.
No, you can't. It's and really none of them were good. The only person that was like really good that I really felt bad for was the guy who was the zookeeper at Joe's Zoo. I think it was Eric. That guy seemed to really care about the animals, and he was just like there to like because he loved the animals so much, and it really I think killed him when Joe was like shooting the tigers and stuff like that. I think that really hurt him a lot.
Yeah, because he really. I mean, the guy like lost his feet, right?
No, well, there's
Or
that
his
guy.
legs.
That guy was
That
that guy was
seemed
cool, too.
legitimately upset too.
Yeah.
Like him, I felt bad for. Though
No, I was, but yeah,
I felt bad for
bad
for like Joe Exotic's employees,
yeah,
because like
Yeah,
they
because
kind of
they
just like
really-
got taken for a ride, but they seemed like they were like good people at heart.
yeah. Eric was the guy that had the sunglasses and the long hair. That was
Oh yeah.
but yeah, the guy with no legs, he was like a really sympathetic character too, because again, he was just trying to make a living and wasn't really like wasn't a crazy person like Joe was. It wasn't like a douche like Jeff Lowe was.
Yeah, he was just a guy who had a bad hand. Oh, okay. So like anyway, we haven't quite described all of these people. So Jeff, so Jeff Lowe is like he's a career con man guy who's like a big like Vegas high roller guy. He like pretends he has money and he like just keeps frauding people to just rob Peter to pay Paul basically to keep up his lifestyle. And his one of his things is him and his much younger wife who like is they're in like a swinging kind of situation which it seems like she's not as into it as he is, but she's like
Yeah.
whatever, this is the life I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
And like so like his thing is he likes to bring like tiger cubs to Las Vegas and like just seduce couples into like big orgy stuff.
Yeah.
Because like he'll like take a tiger cub and he'll just like bring it into his hotel room. He'll lock it in a freaking suitcase, and then he'll like just take it open when it's like time to play. Essentially, it's like the super gross, creepy stuff.
He also, I would like to point out, the guy's like probably like 50 years old, and he dresses like he's like a high
50
school kid.
53.
Yeah,
He's wearing
and
like
he dresses
affliction
like
and shit.
yeah, a douchebag high school kid from like 2004. Like,
Yeah, the bandana, the hat, and the jacket everywhere he goes. I think the part of the reason he hasn't been caught yet, though, is because was his wife's name, Lauren.
Yeah.
Watching him in the series, they'll question him, and he'll finally get questioned into a corner where he's about to crack, and she laughs and bats her eyelashes and goes, "You're being silly. Do you think that could actually happen?" And she's like the perfect shield to deflect,
Yeah.
away from it. She's the reason he's so dangerous. It's them as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
That,
Yeah, because I don't think he's smart enough to get away with it on his own either. I think she's cunning enough as well, where like she can cover for him. I think you got a point there.
Also, the fact that he's such a he's been a con man for so long, he can really talk himself out of anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that really kind of helps him in that regard too.
Yeah. But this guy doesn't really have any money or anything like that. He walks around as if he has a big checkbook. He like drives a Ferrari that, is probably belongs to someone else. But who the hell knows?
Yeah.
He lives a very lavish lifestyle that is completely fictitious. And like his thing is just luring people with these tiger cubs.
Well, as everyone else was. Basically.
As everyone else, but
yes,
his thing is casinos because I don't know. That's his deal. He's always gonna go to Vegas. I don't know. I guess because it's a swinging city of some kind. So if he can't get a couple, he could just like hire a prostitute and it'll be okay. I don't know. But he's been in the news as of yesterday. I got the article up here. So, like, Jeff Lowe, he suffered a stroke at an Oklahoma casino, and he thinks that somebody, like, poisoned him because his wife, apparently, like, according to his wife, he, like somebody came... well, actually, you know what? Tom, you explained the story better than I did before, so why don't you take care?
They were taking some selfies with people because even a year later, people are coming up to you in a casino, and even though you're the scuzziest couple on the show, people want to take their picture with you. So anyway, that's happening. This other person comes up to them and says, "Hey, I know you guys like these drinks." And Lauren and Jeff claim that they don't know who this person is. So anyway, he buys them drinks. And later that night, Jeff starts acting all out of it, has a stroke. She thinks the drink's poison because she took a small sip of it and started feeling off.
Mm-hmm.
So that's their suspicion, is this man that claimed to know them, but they didn't know who he was, may have poisoned the drink.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if somebody actually would, but also he's conned so many people that it could be somebody from 20 years ago, or it could be somebody who knew somebody.
An organized crime, someone who's connected that he conned.
I mean, I don't dwell in the underground, so I don't know what shenanigans you can get up to down there, but I imagine this is one of those things.
It could also be a publicity stunt.
Too.
Yes,
because we're about 1 year removed, and now they're trying to, Joe's having his divorce. We need to get back into the spotlight as well, churn some more money for this because they just lost the zoo to Carol Baskin.
I was going to say that they probably need money. Right? It's probably like a trailer park version of the Royals right now. They need money, so all this here we go.
Yeah.
Let's get all the publicity we can so that we can just keep up this lie.
I would especially say because according to Yahoo News, they have not found anything in his blood or urine tests for common drugs. And as far as I know, I don't know any common drugs that would cause a stroke, unless maybe they spiked his drink with epinephrine or something that made his heart rate super crazy and it burst like a blood vessel or something like that, or increased his blood pressure exponentially.
But forensics have gotten so good with this stuff that it's very hard to find something that's not traceable,
Right.
or even less traceable. Like,
well, unless they're they use something that's not commonly used, then I could see because they only usually test for common drugs,
Yeah.
So,
well, they didn't always do that. Like before, they would just rule everything out as a heart attack up until like Richard Kuklinski, the Iceman killer. He was really what got forensic labs like updating their stuff and just like looking for like very specific chemicals to trace, and he's basically where all these like crime labs got all their funding from, because everything used to just be ruled as just a heart attack, because he would poison people's sandwiches with cyanide.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what he would do. He would buddy up to you. He was apparently he was a very likable guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so like he could lull you into, like, as intimidating as he was, he could lull you into a false sense of security, and like he'd go to, like, one of his things was he would go to lunch, he would go to meet somebody, like a construction site or whatever. He'd go to meet somebody, and he'd pick up sandwiches, so that he'd let them know, so that they would think that like everything was okay. So he'd buy him a sandwich, and he'd sprinkle cyanide on that person's sandwich.
Wow.
So like they would eat it, and then he would they'd have the meeting, and then he'd say, "Oh, all right, I gotta go do this thing, all right," and he leaves, and then about a half hour later, the guy's dead. So like so he did that for years, and just eventually somebody picked up on it, that like there was that, like, everybody who was involved with this guy suffered a heart attack, and they ended up owing money to the mob or whatever. So they were like, all right, well, everybody can't just happen to have a heart attack. So they started testing for other things, and that's where they started to like notice cyanide, and that's where all the crime labs really started getting like more technologically advanced. So now I don't, like, even if you're using something that they're not generally looking for, I feel like they would still look for most outside things. Like, I feel like they've seen it all at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how much of it they could really trace.
Lends more credence to the fact that it could be just a publicity stunt, Yeah. If they're just making shit up.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Also, I think they have a kid or something.
Yes, they do. Because they had a thing where they were looking for a nanny, and the nanny had to be hot or something.
Yeah,
I guess.
It was so gross.
It is.
That
it really
nanny
is
for banging and banging only. She probably doesn't even know how to change a diaper.